as two of the biggest juggernauts in the first-person shooter AAA space collide once again, an unstoppable force going up against an unmovable object. Call of Duty versus Battlefield, Day versus Night, Infinity Ward versus DICE. And this video isn't about discussing the ridiculous amount of dislikes that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has gotten in its reveal trailer, nor do I wish to talk about mob mentality and how it's feeding into this whole fight towards Call of Duty and Battlefield. All I'm gonna say is, where the fuck were y'all when Battlefield 3 was fighting Modern Warfare 3? I was in the trenches during that warfare trying to fight for Battlefield 3, and nobody was there to help me, bruh. It was horrible. And it would have been great that all this love for Battlefield had been there since Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, and it's sad that it's taken this long for people to react this sort of way to Call of Duty. Yeah, everybody's still gonna pick up the Call of Duty, and Battlefield's probably still gonna get outsold by Call of Duty, and this whole like and dislike ratio and views between Battlefield and Call of Duty is just a huge marketing publicity stunt that really only help EA and Activision at the end of the day. And regardless of whoever wins this fight of titans, I'm just gonna be sitting back here already enjoying my shooter of the year. But jokes aside, I've been thinking a lot about actually Infinite Warfare, and more particular the Call of Duty remaster. Now, there's been a lot of people who've asked me to cover this in a video and talk about how it's a death of an industry and it's horrible, and how dare they force me to pay $80 in order for me to get this remaster version because I'm being spoon-fed a Call of Duty I don't want. How dare they? And honestly, like, I'm at this point where I just really don't give a fuck what Call of Duty does now. It's been having dwindling sales, and while Black Ops 3 has just overpassed Advanced Warfare when it comes to sales, it still hasn't even touched Ghosts, let alone Black Ops 2's, which I believe was the highest selling Call of Duty. Could be wrong, but I think I'm right. But this whole thing had me thinking about the past couple of Call of Duties, and I want to talk about a different cycle with Call of Duty that I've noticed. A lot of newer people to my channel have already asked me to talk about the Call of Duty cycle and people buying this crap every year, da-da-da-da-da. For the people who are brand new, I've already discussed this. This was actually a video I did way back, probably one of my favorite videos I made. Highly recommend, if you haven't watched that video, you should definitely check that video out. It might change your perspective on Call of Duty, but getting back into these recent ones, there's something I've noticed that I think Activision is doing a fantastic job at that I wish to comment about, and it's the idea of pulling people back in. This has happened consistently, but I think it's become more apparent after Ghosts. See, Call of Duty Ghosts is arguably the worst Call of Duty of all time, and there's tons of reasons why. I even did a review on Call of Duty Ghosts in case you're curious on what those reasons were. But essentially, Call of Duty Ghosts was the farthest thing from the Call of Duty formula possible. It completely lost its identity. However, regardless of how bad Call of Duty Ghosts was, people still bought the next Call of Duty and the one after that, and one we're currently on, which is Black Ops 3. And the reason for this is it does just enough to get people to at least try it. Let me explain a little bit. See, Call of Duty Ghosts was the turning point for the Call of Duty series. Personally, I believe Call of Duty was dying long before Ghosts, but Ghosts did a permanent dent into Call of Duty, and a lot of people decided on never returning to Call of Duty after playing that game. The reason why some people gave Advanced Warfare a chance was Activision was smart. If you can recall, they actually brought in a brand new studio, Sledgehammer, which helped with Modern Warfare 3 in order to create their own Call of Duty. This is what pulled people back in. There were a couple of factors, but the main factors were: one, it was a change in setting; two, there was actual change in the game when it comes to the mechanics of the movement due to the exosuits; and third, it was a new developer. Having a new developer gave some fans the belief that, hey, this game will be better or be different or fresh because a new developer is having a chance to try Call of Duty and it might come with new ideas. This idea convinced a lot of people on buying and purchasing Call of Duty, and while even I've said on record I actually enjoyed Advanced Warfare, a lot of people in the Call of Duty community absolutely hate Advanced Warfare just as much as Ghosts. After Advanced Warfare, if you can recall, a lot of the Call of Duty community made this whole hashtag about feet on the ground and no exos. But when there was rumors about Black Ops 3 being further in the future and it was going to also have exo type movement, a lot of Call of Duty players were ready to absolutely boycott Black Ops 3. And even when it first got revealed, of course, the obvious comparisons to Titanfall and Halo were immediately made, and Call of Duty fans were yelling, "We did not want this. Why are you guys pushing us in the future and making us play these exos?" The same thing you're hearing right now, basically. But I did a review on Black Ops 3, and in my personal opinion, overall, I felt Black Ops 3 was actually a really decent, well put together game. However, recently with their push of supply drops and microtransactions, that in my opinion has wavered from my original thoughts when the game first came out. But besides that, how did Call of Duty pull it off that that even while Call of Duty fans were disheartened about the Call of Duty series from Ghost to Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 3 to now Infinite Warfare, how is it they keep coming back? And that is Activision marketing at its finest. What Black Ops 3 did in order to pull people back in and at least pre-order was, if you can recall, a beta. The first beta in such a long time for the Call of Duty series. A beta justified to a lot of players that, hey, I could at least try the game and see if I like it, which was genius on Activision's part, because if the game held up to actually be decent, a lot of gamers would be like, okay, I'm gonna purchase that. And that's what you saw with a lot of gamers, including the gaming Illuminati. When I reported about Black Ops 3 at E3, a lot of people were again skeptical or thought I was full of shit when I said that I thought the game was actually decent when I got a chance to play it. And then when everybody got a chance to play it during the beta, people's minds changed and they were like, you know, this Call of Duty actually isn't that bad. It's actually pretty well put together, and ultimately people went out and bought Black Ops 3. What we're dealing with now is the same idea with Infinite Warfare. So Infinite Warfare has a ton of hate, has the whole we want feet on the ground, has now we're in space, all this other crazy stuff. But marketing again is at its greatest. What could they do to up the ante? So they go from changing the movement style to the next game of introducing a beta. What's the next stepping stone to get people to at least try their game? Remaster. Since there has never been a remaster of Call of Duty, that push to pick the #1 beloved game, Call of Duty 4, that would come with Infinite Warfare, and on top of that, get gamers to pay even more than $60 in order to get this game, was brilliant. While it's completely anti-consumer and it is a dirty tactic, I gotta applaud Activision marketing, because they are smart. They know how to milk a series and get players to keep on giving it a chance, even when they swear they're not gonna try the next Call of Duty. And this has me really curious to see how the future Call of Duties are going to do moving forward when it comes to having that little thing that can get people to try the game out or pre-order it. Will it be more betas? Will it be more remasters? Or will it be some completely brand new idea? I don't know. But I find it interesting that Activision has gamers in a sort of Tsukuyomi infinite loop that no matter what, they just tweak it here, they tweak it there, they find something new in order to get gamers to give the next Call of Duty a chance. And while me personally, I have no ill will towards Call of Duty anymore, I've come to accept it for what it is. I find this whole mob mentality to hate on Infinite Warfare hilarious. Not right, not wrong, but just funny to watch, because while everybody's laughing at the dislikes on Infinite Warfare, Activision's actually laughing even harder, because they already know you're gonna try it out anyways.
Oh, motherfucker, you in trouble now.